All right, live.
Ready? All right. Call the meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Trustee Hargit,
Here.
trustee Levin,
Here.
trustee Mirabella,
Here.
trustee McCarthy,
Here.
trustee Weiss,
Here.
trustee Whitmore,
Here.
Mayor Bruno.
Here. Tonight's invocation, I will provide. Lord God, we come together to remember and to give you thanks and praise for the many blessings you bestow upon us and the world. We also ask for your guidance. As we begin a new month, we recognize the great contributions women have made throughout history, especially in their service as loving mothers. We especially thank you for the gift of family and ask you to bless our nation with one of its most important building blocks: united, happy families under you. As St. Patrick's Day approaches, we also recall and celebrate greater faith in your son spreading into Ireland. May this day be one of safe celebration, bringing us together as one united human family whose happiness lies in you alone. We lift up to you the many men and women now serving to protect us. Watch over them and keep them safe. Strengthen the families who have members serving now. We ask you to spend your spirit of wisdom upon us so that we might be truly wise in serving you and the people of Winthrop Harbor. And finally, Almighty God, may you bless us, the people of Winthrop Harbor, and the people of the United States of America, that you may truly be one nation under you. In Jesus' name, amen. Okay, we move on to approval of the minutes of the previous meeting. I need a motion to approve the February 2nd, 2021 virtual regular board meeting minutes.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, any comments on the minutes? Roll call, please.
Hargit,
Aye.
Levin,
Aye.
Mirabella,
Aye.
McCarthy,
Aye.
Weiss,
Aye.
Whitmore.
Aye.
Motion carried. We move on to mayor's report. I need a motion to set aside the rules of the president and board of trustees to waive the first and second readings of an ordinance ratifying and extending mayoral declaration of emergency relating to coronavirus.
So moved. Target.
Motion by who?
Target.
Okay,
Second.
second? Okay, thank you. Any, okay, just roll call, please.
Hargit,
Aye.
Levin,
Aye.
Mirabella,
Aye.
McCarthy,
Aye.
Weiss,
Aye.
Whitmore.
Aye.
Motion carried. We move on to the second item. I need a motion to adopt an appointment resolution appointing Patrick DePerzio as the Zone Management Board for Zion Benton Enterprise Zone.
So moved.
Second. Target.
All right, any discussion on that? All right, just need someone from the village to sit on that board, and I'm asking Patrick to do that, so. Roll call, please.
Hargit,
Aye.
Levin,
Aye.
Mirabella,
Aye.
McCarthy,
Aye.
Weiss,
Aye.
Whitmore.
Aye.
Motion carried. We move on to the third item. I need a motion to adopt an appointment resolution appointing Robert Jones, part-time police officer.
So moved, McCarthy.
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion on that? Okay, roll call, please.
Target,
Aye.
Levin.
Aye.
Marabella,
Aye.
McCarthy,
Aye.
Weiss,
Aye.
Whitmore.
Aye.
Motion carried. I have a couple other items regarding our fire chief search. We have gotten several applicants, and we are going to go out for another search reaching further out than where we have already, just to see if we get anybody else interested in that position. So that's going to be in another 2 weeks, and then we'll have a final panel or group that we'll look at and we'll interview. The best candidate, I guess, or best few candidates. So I just want to let everybody know that. Now with the fire chief, we're going to do the same thing with the police chief. The panel will consist of myself, the village administrator, the village attorney, and a police chief. The police chief who has agreed to assist with the search is Chief Steve Belinsky. Chief Belinsky has 44 years of law enforcement experience. He is former chief of police of the village of Buffalo Grove, and he is currently chief of police of the village of Kildare. He holds a master's degree in public administration and completed the executive management program, as well as the staff and command school at Northwestern University. Chief Belinsky's other service to the Lake County law enforcement community includes terms as chairman of the Metropolitan Enforcement Group, president of the Major Crash Accident Team, and past president of the Chief of Police Association. So I just want to let everybody know that that's going to be happening here within the next few weeks.
So like last time, I'll say the same thing. So you say all these credits for this fourth person, but what about the other three? That's what concerns me, because you give all these acclamations about the fourth person we bring in, but what about the other three? It's concerning to me, and I'm not making light of it or a joke of it, but we give all these accolades. I want to hear the accolades about the other three that compare to that, to make sure that we're picking the right. That's just me, just my concern. And because we build up the fourth person, is that fourth person picking it, or the other three are just there to sit and?
Are you talking about Chief Belinsky?
No,
No,
talk
I
about
feel
the
like-
other three, because you
Trustee
guys give
Marabella, I feel like you're asking for credentials on the three people we already know about.
I am.
We already,
Dana,
right, but we already know Greg's credentials as the village administrator.
Yeah.
We know Mayor Bruno's credentials, whether you respect those or not. We know what
I
they
do
are.
respect those.
So I don't feel, and same with Attorney Long, I don't feel like we need to go over what they are. They're introducing the person we don't know.
Okay.
I feel like we already know the other people, so we don't need to go over that. Like either, you trust them to make this decision or not. I know with Mayor Bruno, he was elected by the people, to be put in this position. He doesn't need to rely on these others, but he is choosing to do this committee. We've got Greg, who we've all vetted and gone over. We've got Attorney Long, who we know. So basically they're introducing the additional person. I don't feel like we need to go over what their credentials are. They've already proven that, and they've already earned this position, and they don't need it. That's just my take on it. So you've expressed that. I'm just giving my take on what you're asking.
That's what I want to hear, is other people talking.
Is there a reason
perfect.
why the trustee who oversees the fire department not being involved in this?
Well,
Because we trust them too.
that can also shift from time to time. Anyway, I think when we put this together, we thought it was going to be who they were directly reporting to, which is the administrator, who's also responsible for HR, the village attorney because of any legal issues, the mayor because it's the mayor's appointment, and then a professional in the industry that can talk about the skill set needed to administer a fire department or a police department.
Took the words right out of my
Only,
mouth.
And
only because obviously trustee Levin is a prior firefighter and a elected official. So I think having him on the board might be a good fit as well.
Nothing against trustee Levin, but Mike Street is a longtime police chief or fire chief who's doing these searches as well. I mean, certainly trustee Levin's qualified. I don't think anybody's talking about the qualifications. They're just talking about the makeup of the board. And trustee Mirabelli, I think you were also trying to get to what the role of the panel is going to be. Street and Belinsky are going to look at the candidates from a skill set, as far as law enforcement, fire service.
That was my point, making
Yeah.
light of it. That was my whole point, not to be negative about it. I wanted discussion about it because that's what we need to do as this board. We need to discuss. People are watching this video and they're hearing things. When we discuss this, like Dana saying that was perfect. That's what I wanted to get out of them. I'm sorry I'm doing that. It's discussion. It's to make people understand what we're doing, not that we're just robots up here saying what we're saying and it's going that way. That's all. I'm sorry.
Trustee Marabella, when I first talked about Chief Belinsky, I wasn't sure exactly where you were going with your question.
Yeah, no, that's, I was,
Trustee McCarthy cleared that up, and I agree with
yes,
Trustee McCarthy.
absolutely.
I don't think we have to, elaborate on our village administrator or myself's credentials. I just want to let you know who's going to be on the committee and why Chief Belinsky was even, talked to, because he's got the credentials that he does have. And I want to pick the absolute best candidate that we can get for our police chief once Joel Brumlick leaves. So that's the reason for asking Chief Belinsky to sit on this committee. So very good. So we move on to the village administrator's report. Greg.
Mr. Mayor, trustees, I have just a few things. We're asking the board to take a look at the sign code again. Myself and Pat DePercio had a conversation about this last week. I was struck by the sign that is at Crab Boil as I was driving south on Sheridan that wasn't there when I left in the morning, but was there when I made my way home at night. I came back the next day asking the question that I'm sure some of the trustees have asked, but also some members of the community, did the sign meet code and did that slots over the top versus the nature of the business, which is a restaurant, should that have been flip-flopped so it was more attractive on Sheridan Road and to our community? And then after reviewing it with Pat, because that's his bailiwick, Pat said that the sign, in fact, was within code. But, I think when Pat looked at it and I looked at it and others have looked at it, it may not have been the ideal way we would have liked to have seen that sign as far as presenting Sheridan Road to visitors or the community. But the sign code being what it is, it may be time for the village to take a second look at what exactly we want from our sign code and what type of signs, especially in the business district. And also talk about our enforcement of the sign code, because it seems to be haphazard now where some things do get enforced and others don't. We certainly know there's things that have been grandfathered over the years. But we're putting, when new signs go up, we're putting the burden on the property owner. And I just want to make sure, as Pat does, that we're equitable in what we're doing and how we're doing it, and making sure that we are lining up the way we want the business community to look for the future. So I would ask the board to please consider potentially reviewing that again and seeing what kind of how we want to move forward on that. So
Greg, if I can be clear, the sign code is part of the zoning code, and our powers derive from the zoning from chapter 15 of the municipal code. So as a result, while the board can discuss it as a preliminary matter, it has to go through the planning and zoning board first before any amendments can be adopted.
Understood. Second thing is branch pickup. I need some thoughts from the board on should we continue or not continue branch pickup. And here's the discussion that's been had. We're down 1.5 person in public works. We don't know when those numbers will come back up. We spend 3 days a week. We use, 5 weeks, 4 people a day, almost 20 hours per person per week out of those 4 people to do branch pickup, where we could be filling potholes or doing other items related to the streets. We are one of the few communities in Lake County that does the branch pickup. I understand Zion had stopped it some time ago. Same thing with concerns of cost and opportunity cost related to the branch pickup. I know it is a service that the public has enjoyed for some time. As we turn around and look at budgets and look at what services we should be doing and what services we should really be reevaluating, I wanted to bring this forward. You know, not everybody participates in branch pickup, but we are providing those services at the rest of the taxpayers' expense. So we will continue to do whatever the board directs us to do. But we're just trying to get a sense of, is this a program we want to start walking back from?
I personally deal with this all the time, and me and Tim butt heads on this. I wouldn't say butt heads. We have conversations on this all the time. There's a lot of people in our community, older people, that appreciate this. We always get into this community talk, and a lot of it are the older people in the community. Do the young people use it as much? Probably not. And I'm saying that without knowing the information available. I'm just guessing. But the more people that reach out to me are the older people in the community that like it. Me personally, it's my department.
Can't hear you.
I hear you.
No.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. There you go. So the director of my department is constantly, I wouldn't say art. His concern is he wants the best fulfillment for his department. And to what Greg Jackson is saying, right now we're down a man. Plowing, I think we did phenomenal on plowing. We were down a man. Tim had to fill in a lot of that vacancy. And that's his job, and he knows that, and we do well at it. But I know a lot of the older people in the community like branch pickup, and I'm not just singling out the older people in the community. A lot of people use it. It's there. And I'll go with the board on it. Me personally, I like that it's there for the people, but does it hurt my department? Absolutely. So I want to put it out there that it hurts my department from a point that if we're picking up these things and we're doing that, like Greg suggested, it's taking away from the other things we do. Repairing things, repairing roads, fixing drains, doing sidewalks. I just want to spit that out there. I like it. I'm not against doing it, but does it hurt my department? Absolutely, especially being down a man.
We can look at limiting the amount of times that they're coming out a year.
I'm sorry, trustee.
Yeah, we can look at limiting the amount of times that they're coming out a year.
We already do. We used to do it every Monday.
Right.
You guys hear me? Oh, I'm sorry. We used to do it every Monday. Now we only do it 2 months, but everybody puts them out. We can't limit. Once you put them on the road, and I'm not, just once you put them on the road, we have to pick them up. So we can't limit. So if they put them there, we have to pick them up. It's either we do it or we don't do it. And the time that's there, and I'm not, it sounds silly, but it's not. The time that's there is because they're out there, and we can't justify the time because whoever puts them out there, once they're there, we have to remove them. Either we do it or we don't. I know it sounds silly, but we can't limit the time because whoever puts them out there, we got to finish the job no matter what, because they're out there.
A Groot will pick up, the smaller brush and even some of the things that people put out there. If they cut into smaller pieces, those could go into bags or barrels for Groot to pick up. So I think we would need to communicate that is there any sort of opportunity for middle ground where people could still drop branches somewhere at Public Works that get chipped when there's time, and maybe some entrepreneurial person in town with a pickup would, say, yeah, I'll come pick up loads for a small amount of money and haul them over there. We end up with a big pile of branches that need to be worked through at some point, or have a community bonfire. But that may be some middle ground.
Absolutely, buddy. And I'm sorry. Absolutely. I've done that before for residents, just personally. That's me. I'm not trying to make myself look good. People have complained. I went and picked them up myself. Tim's like, what are you doing? I'm like, well, I'm just trying to solve a problem here. But that absolutely, I believe we could do that, and we could set up a spot to do that. I think you're on a right pace there.
My only thing I was gonna mention was the communication piece. I mean, I think that's the biggest thing with the branch pickup is just people not being sure. So whatever we decide on with it, I mean, we need to be very clear and concise with the communication to people so they know what we're changing. Because that's one thing I've seen with the branch pickup is just people not knowing what it is we're doing, when we're doing it. So whatever we decide, I mean, I want to know that people are going to be communicated to on what exactly we're doing with it.
If the board should make a decision this evening, we have an opportunity to put it in the newsletter before it's distributed.
My question is, and Trustee Mirabella, maybe you can answer this. When they do branch pickup, do they drive down every street in the village looking for branches?
Yeah.
Okay.
So they have a route, and I'm sorry Tim's not here, but there's a route that's done, and then they do that route, and then they go back. And the problem we have is, some people aren't to the timely fashion, so then they have to go back. So it's more time consuming because, like Dana was saying, and I agree with him 100%, not too often, but yes, it's a communication. No, you got to have fun with this.
Yeah,
it's a communication thing, and a lot of people don't, and so it does, and it's a thorn in their side, and it's been something that I've always wanted, and not wanted, but just because people like it. But it is a thorn in their side, and it takes so many people to do it because they do it. They drive around, and if it takes 2 days, then they're going back for that little third day thing because somebody else stuck something out there.
Right.
I had an idea. If we put this in the newsletter and we only do it once a month, and had somebody that put branches out, they could either email or call and say, I have branches, and they wouldn't have to go down every row. They could just go to that location.
The problem with that, Mayor, is that you're running a dispatch service at that point. We don't have the resources to make sure we get everybody's email on a timely basis or be able to get it to Tim. Plus, Tim does a lot of his work, and he does it well based on schedules where he says, okay, on this day, we're going to do this day, we're going to do that. I think that would cause more disruption in the sense of Tim being able to adapt his schedule.
I'm just thinking there's not that many people in the village. You say it's used by what, maybe 10%?
That I couldn't give you that number without Tim being here, Mr. Mayor.
True.
Does Tim have like real stats, like real data on each day on about how many people are putting out? Or is it just kind of go around and get it when it's out?
Yeah, we go around and get it. The problem with that is, so it's 10%, but it's 10% of 80% of the people. I know that sounds silly, but in public works terms, it's 10% on a given day, but it's 10% of 80% of the people. So it's spread out. I'm going to do it this week. My neighbor's going to do it the next week. Everybody doesn't do it. So on that basis, now you guys are getting into something smart. Maybe we do it to where we do it per community, and we section it off in community and say, hey, this is your week to do this. This is your week to do this, unless we have a storm, which we pick up anyway. So you're onto something there, Dana, that we can make it to where we section it off to say, hey, this part of the community does it this week. This part of the community does it that week. Then we're only going out to a certain place, and say we split it up over the whole summer. We're only doing certain sections. where it only takes them 1 day to do that section. That's an idea.
My take on if we're going to say we shouldn't do this anymore, we need to give a good window of time in which we're communicating that we're going to stop doing it instead of just stopping doing it. Like I understand like it might not be cost effective, but if we're going to stop doing it, I think we need to give a good window within that communication of when we're going to stop so that people get the word, and aren't for the next couple months wondering why we haven't picked up their branches.
So
Yeah.
then can I suggest this? Then can I suggest that we look at a method of potentially eliminating or reducing pickup for the fall? Continue pickup through the spring. And by that time, allowing ourselves to come up with either a potential route, like, what you were describing, Trustee Mirabella, reminds me of community cleanup days, where 1 day a week, everybody's got this 1 day in this one section of town, they put things out and waste management comes and picks it up. We may want to take a similar approach, base it on the routes that Tim uses for snow plowing, for example. Take five or 6 weeks based on those, do it on a Monday. Say on Monday, you have to have all your stuff out. It allows people over the weekend to do it, but then put together a formal plan that will allow us to reduce it or eliminate it for the fall.
I like that idea.
If the board's okay with that.
I like that.
I like it.
Okay. Okay, thank you for the direction, appreciate it. There's 4 pieces of legislation that are going through the House and the Senate that I just wanted to make sure the board was aware of because they affect us or potentially can affect us, and I'm keeping them on the radar, keeping close eye on it. There's House Bill 1810 has been introduced to increase the amount for gaming per machine from $25 that a non-home rule municipality can collect to $1,500. It would take us from $1,450 in revenue a year to $87,000 a year in revenue based on existing machines. House Bill 0865 is allowing for the non-home rule sales tax to go from 1% to 2%. Our village does not collect a non-home rule sales tax, never has, which we've talked about in the past, but I think the board should take a look at that again, because now we have an opportunity for 1% and then 2% to do non-home rule sales tax. So I will let you know.
Would that legislation still would require a referendum to initiate that, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. Then there is another bill that's going through, which is Senate Bill 1739 that I got word of today. That is allows for additional non-home rule tax to be imposed for the purpose of going directly to pension funds. So rather than taking that burden totally to the property tax to the property owners, it'd be an opportunity to impose a tax that would allow that to happen as well. And pension. Oh, and there's another piece of legislation that is out here that will give it's House Bill 1918 provides that except for the powers to tax, impose fees, and incur debt, non-home rule municipalities shall exercise all of the powers provided to home rule units of government under Section 6, Article 7 of the state constitution. So short of the money raising, the other things that we were looking at as the village board looked at a home rule a couple of years ago, if that piece of legislation would pass, would give our village the authority to exercise those powers. So I will keep an eye on those pieces of legislation and keep everybody advised. Just to let you know, there's still interest in a potential cannabis dispensary in Winthrop Harbor. I have a meeting on Thursday with that prospector, for a lack of a better term. Alicia has sent me some data. We're currently looking at ambulance billing rates. I got the data back from Alicia about a week and a half. So I'm starting to look and see if our rates are exactly where they should be as far as other communities. We are going to present to the board in April a recommendation for approval for a water rate increase. It has been 4 years since the last water rates were increased. I wasn't here, but I am told that it had been a long time before that rate increase happened, and the taxpayers were, or the water users were really surprised at the size of the increase because it hadn't happened in some time. What I would recommend to the board, or at least the recommendation we're going to bring forward, and I say we, it's going to be Tim and myself, is that we look at a schedule so we've got incremental increases, so we're not slapping a large increase on the taxpayers and the water users all at once. I keep saying taxpayers, but it's the water users at once. So we'll be bringing that to the board for discussion and hopefully approval in April. And we'll make sure that we get as much advance information as far as rates go and that information to you all before we even had our meeting on this. The state mandated sexual harassment training is complete, short of just a few people, and we're going to have that done. Quite honestly, during the pandemic, when the state law required that training be completed in person, we were finding it as a challenge to get it done, but we were able to accomplish that. And I will brag that we've been able to accomplish it while some of our neighboring communities have not. Linda's expansion was approved and it's taken place. For those of you who have been in there, you saw that they moved to that side room and hopefully attracting more business. It seems that they are. I've asked staff to present me with shovel-ready projects. I anticipate within the upcoming weeks, because it's construction work, that our members of our House and Senate representation are going to have money available. That's how we got the money for Holdridge. That's how we got the money for the Public Works building, which, by the way, we have, you will be presented with a contract next election, or next board meeting, approving for an adjustment to the scope of the construction, because the money we have is the money we have. And we know there's been some inflation costs on construction. I mean, we've seen it. And what we want to make sure, I gave Tim the task of going back and looking to get us within that dollar amount. I think early on, when I first started meeting with the board as a consultant, one of the things Trustee Marabella said was, we'll find a way to make it fit within this money. And so, the mayor was adamant that we find another source than putting it on the taxpayers. So we're able to do both. And Tim is making some adjustments and fine tuning some of the things he wanted in that Public Works building that he thinks we can wait for and just pick up as we go down the line. So we get within that dollar amount that we've been awarded by the state. And the last thing is that the tavern redevelopment plan is once again on the table. I've had conversation with the owners of that establishment on what they're looking to do. The original redevelopment was put to the side for a period of time because of COVID. Now they're coming back. They're having the architect come back to us with some new plans. That's all I have, Mr. Mayor and members of the board.
One comment I got, Greg, just on all the information you were feeding. So with gas prices rising, Lake County is considering a gas tax. The Lake County Board right now is considering that, just so our people are aware of it. It's coming. If you're for it or against it, you should reach out to your county board member, but that's something on the table. I know prices are coming up, but that's another issue and I didn't mean to, I just wanted to bring it up.
And our proximity to Wisconsin doesn't help for that tax to be up here, that's for sure.
All right. Any other questions for Greg? Thank you, Greg. We move on to clerk's correspondence.
I have nothing.
Nothing. No old business, so we move on to new business, committee reports, community development, Trustee Hargett.
All right, I make a motion that we approve an ordinance ratifying an an ordinance formally adopting the zoning map for the village of Winthrop Harbor setting aside any first and second readings as needed.
Second.
Trustee Marabella, second. Yeah.
Discussion on that?
This is a annual process that we go through, making any updates to the zoning map.
All right. Roll call.
Target,
Aye.
Levin.
Aye.
Marabella,
All right.
McCarthy.
Aye.
Weiss,
Aye.
Whitmore.
Aye.
Motion carried. Thank you, trustee Hargit. We move on to finance, trustee Weiss.
Thank you. I move we approve accounts payable warrant 2020-16 in the amount of $204,426.71.
Second.
Discussion on that. Good. Roll call, please.
Target,
Aye.
Levin,
Aye.
Marabella,
All right.
McCarthy,
Aye.
Weiss,
Aye.
Whitmore.
Aye.
Motion carried. We move on to public works, trustee Marabella.
Make a motion to request to approve Covenant Cove and Village Park Pond Maintenance Contract.
Second.
We got a motion and a second. Any discussion on that? Okay. Roll call, please.
Target,
Aye.
Levin,
Aye.
Marabella.
Aye.
McCarthy,
Aye.
Weiss,
Aye.
Whitmore.
Aye.
Motion carried. Thank you, trustee Marabella. Move on to public comments. I will start with trustee Weiss.
No public comments and there were none.
Oh, I'm sorry. I hear a vacuum cleaner going off up here. It's very annoying, very distracting. All right, thank you, Julie.
Sure.
All right, now public comments. So now we move on to unfinished business. Trustee Weiss.
I'm looking forward to the budget process, really. But so I'm looking, like I said, looking at the numbers and to see what we need to do in the future. So be prepared, people. That's all I have.
All right, thank you, trustee Weiss. Trustee Whitmore.
I don't have anything.
None at all? Oh, okay.
Nothing.
Thank you, trustee Whitmore. Trustee Hargit.
I have nothing.
Okay, thank you. Trustee McCarthy.
I'm also looking forward to trustee Weiss dealing with the budget process. I
Thank
look
you.
forward to hearing what he has to say on it. So thank you, trustee Weiss, for handling that. And I mean, we'll have lots of opportunities to thank Chief Brumlick for his service, but you've all seen the letter and everything, and I spoke with them, and just, I can't say enough of how appreciative I am of Chief Brumlick and his service over the last 20 plus years. Before I was on the board, I was a member of the police commission, for about 6 years, and just working closely with him on that, and then being able to serve over as a liaison for police for a number of years as a board member with Joel as chief has just been an honor. And as I've told him, I just appreciate, his approach, like how he has done a great job of balancing his experience with kind of the direction of the board. I think he's a great model of what a department head and a leader and a public servant should be. And like I said, I'm sure I'll probably mention it a few more times over the next couple months, but I can't say enough of how appreciative I am of his service and everything he's done for the village. So just thanks, Chief, and that's all I had. Good night.
Thank you,
Thank
trustee McCarthy. Trustee Marabella.
All right, so I just want to say we got a lot of stuff coming up. We'll start with my department. I thought plowing was really good. I thought they did a great job. I know it was mentioned by Greg. We are down a man, so we're performing what we're performing, missing a whole person, which is huge to me. Tim's doing a great job. Tim's happened to fill in, and it is what it is. He understood that when he took it on, but he's doing great at it. we're down a person, I always try to strive to make them do better. And sometimes I say things to them, but they've done a great job. We're gonna start patching so people know it's that time. Because of we're plowing, because of the cold, we're ripping up patches, we're having new potholes. We're gonna start that. Everything's gonna be good there. The thaw's coming, so I would suggest to people to clear drains if you can. We're gonna go on to do it, but if you can go clear the drain by your house, clear the drain. I mean, help us out how you can as a public being. It would be good. We're getting into an interesting time here because we're changing over department heads, or not heads, but leaders. I mean, I know Justin's time was short-lived, but it was there. The chief's time's been here a long time before I got on the board, but as long as I've been a resident, I've known them all. But things are changing. It's going to be interesting times for Winthrop Harbor. The budget, I mean, we all joke about it. It's going to be huge. Money is very limited. We have very limited resources, but there's going to be things and hard things to come about as elected officials that people are going to have to, we're going to have to decide as a group what we're doing, because they're hard decisions. It's not easy to tell people you got to pay more money. It's not. It's horrible. But as elected officials, I think we have to do this, and it's going to come down to that. So, but I feel confident, and I believe the group we have right here should be proud of themselves, because I think we've done a great job. We've done what we were committed to doing, and we've tried to adapt. I think we've done a great job with that. So that's all I got.
Thank you, Trustee Mirabella. I agree with your comments wholeheartedly. So, Trustee Levin.
All I have is fire department just recently had a graduation. We had a few members graduated. Also, we began our Metro contract, which is working out good. Other than that, Alicia's doing a great job. That's all I have.
Thank you, Trustee Levin. I just got a couple of comments. I also want to say about the snow plowing. They did a phenomenal job. I commute from here to Waukegan every day, and I went to Harbor by far. Going from here to Waukegan, it's the cleanest roads, and going from Waukegan to here, it's the cleanest roads. So kudos to them. I know they work hard, and it's a small group of guys, very small group. It's amazing what they can do with the crew that they have. And I also want to thank Alicia I was at the graduation, cadet graduation last Wednesday night. It was a very nice program. I really enjoyed it. It was my first one as mayor. I'd like to get on the schedule when those happen in the future, so I can make them all. But it was wonderful. I enjoyed it. It's really nice to see. It was a very, as I think Justin put it, it was a very diverse group of graduates, and it was nice to see Justin got his chief helmet that night, and a couple other just applauses, and what amazing things that Justin has done over the time as chief. So I really enjoyed that. I've not been to one before, but I was glad I was able to make this one, and I hope to make the future ones too. So, and that's all I have. I don't have to go into closed session, so I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Second? Someone second?
Second.
All right.
Levin.
All right. Roll call, please.
Target,
Aye.
Levin,
Aye.
Mirabella,
Aye.
McCarthy.
Aye.
Weiss,
Aye.
Whitmore.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.
Hey, Alicia?